Hey, what's up, fellow apocalyptic survivors, and welcome to Nerdy Bunch weekly review for Apple TV series Silo. My name's English Dave, and bringing his MacGyver skills to get me to the other side of this podcast is my co-host Andrew. What's up, Andrew?
What's up, David?
We're here to talk episode 1 of season 2 of Silo, a show that we've been waiting for not too long.
Not too long.
Not too long.
I won't name names.
But long enough, I will say. I don't care because that's what happens when a show is good. We really enjoyed season 1. If you haven't seen season 1, yeah, just checking out this podcast, go watch season 1. This is our spoiler-free review for season 1. It's great. Watch it. But episode 1 of season 2, titled The Engineer, synopsis is as follows. Juliet finds sanctuary in a silo long ago destroyed by war, thinking she's alone.
Dum.
Andrew, the return of the show, the first episode, bringing us in. The Engineer, spoiler free. Go.
Keep it concise. I'm super glad we're back after the cliffhangers of last season's finale, right? Because I feel like it was very like whoa. So I like that we're kind of straight into it. We're getting some answered questions. Some of the lore is being explained. I'm liking it so far. It's a slow burn, but in the way that Silo is a slow burn. It's not like it's a slow burn. I was bored at any point during the episode, not at all. It's like the charm and intensity building of Silo has been one reason I've always loved it. It's just the weight of everything. It feels so magnified, maybe because we can, I guess, comprehend a little bit of what they're going through. It's peeling back the curtain nicely. Like I feel like they didn't give us too much too quickly, but they're definitely answering questions. So I'm happy. I'm excited. I have a lot of things to spoil, so I'll stop there.
I really like this return. I read some people online complaining that it should have been a 2-episode opening, and I understand
I
that
probably agree.
sentiment. But
But
like you said, I
shut up.
think this show this show very much is about that slow burn.
Yeah.
Because as slow as it was, I think you hit the nail on the head. There were still levels of intensity. So it's almost like that kind of intense slow.
Mm-hmm.
You're still engaged and you're never bored.
Yeah, not at all.
In fact, it's not a spoiler to say that this episode barely has dialogue. It's huge chunks of moments, right?
I was literally looking at my wife. I was like, especially because we're so bad sometimes. We watch things by being on our phone and listening at subtitles, but it's like 5 minutes past and you're just hearing like sounds and things. But it's eerie. I love it though.
But that's the thing, and it makes it work. It helps an environment. You feel in those spaces with her, that quietness, that eeriness. And
Yeah.
like you said, there's an intensity to that slow movement. Opening with that sets the stage because when things do ramp up, it's like, oh shit.
No, like
That
oh
contrast hits a lot harder. And I said I don't think that's necessarily, I would say it's a critique of, I don't know. I can understand why people want more, but I don't know
yeah.
if that's a critique of the show. Right. I think they did a great use of highlighting its title, The Engineer. You come out of it and you're like, "Yep, that's a great title."
Uh-huh.
It was perfectly
Uh-huh.
done.
Uh-huh.
And again,
Uh-huh.
I think that's part of the engagement as the viewer, just watching her being an engineer. You're just like, "Whoa, this
It
is."
feels very like Alien. What's her name? Ripley. Is that her
Yeah,
name?
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
just like she would survive.
I always
And she's
like
like,
seeing people with those kind of like smart engineering skills in a post-apocalyptic world.
yeah.
Right, and there's nothing that we see that didn't feel plausible based on what we know of the character either. It wasn't like, "Oh, come on, really?"
Not at all. It was actually like, yep, that's it, girl. Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah,
makes
that's how
sense.
you did that thing that time. I remember. Yeah.
And
That's
I
so
think
good.
that's where this show does a good job of the flashbacks to
Mm-hmm.
inform us, right? It's not flashbacks for exposition, it's more flashbacks to kind of inform us in ways where we understand the situation and the characters that much more. And
Yeah.
this episode, you know, it's not a spoiler to say that things are bigger
Yeah.
than we thought, right? The world is bigger than we
Much
thought.
bigger.
It is a
Much
lot bigger.
bigger.
And so
Much bigger.
this episode starts to give us those teasers of, okay, things are bigger than where she was in season 1. Anyway, let's get into full spoilers.
That's spoiled. Corpses. What? Sorry. I
Let's
like
talk
when the
about,
show answers the question right there. Like, nope, they died.
right. I think that opening scene was done really well because one, again, like I
Uh,
said, it shows us that there's a larger narrative at play here beyond. We were told, oh, our silo is one. Nope, there's many silos, like we saw at the very
it's
end of the
like
season.
it's yeah,
Many
it's
silos,
it's like
a, a lot of
nobody
them
knows
next
your
to each other.
problems. Yeah,
They're not even that far from each other,
and
but they're great.
identical. I mean,
Very identical in their
which I wonder,
styling.
are they like twins or are they all same style?
That
I
that's
need
the
more.
question. But then it also shows us, is a great way to kind of show us what could have been, right? From her silo. We understand that in her silo, I think 140 years ago, there was a revolution and it was
Yeah.
stopped. But then in this other silo, the revolution was not stopped. They were
Oh no, it
successful.
worked.
It worked, and we see what happens when it works.
They marched on out so confident, right?
So
Like
confident.
when the Saints were marching it, and no, I love when the show doesn't like they didn't drag it out, right? They just
No,
showed
no.
her seeing the corpses, like, and I think there was like a flag, a green
But the
flag to,
transition, that was a great transition with the flag.
which is this episode had some really good transitions.
Yes. When
Just the
she's drinking,
flag,
when
the
she's drinking.
drinking.
Yeah, that was a good one.
The age change, even just like I guess I really felt the juxtaposition for her of seeing this empty silo but also like comparing it to her silo, and it just made the like vastness of being I don't think people really get how alone you can feel, right? Like it's not just
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm alone. It's like, no, was it she's like hoisting corpses, like building
And they were
bridges,
heavy.
bruh.
I like that they were heavy, like, she's really struggling, or when she's trying to open the door, like, literally her whole body weight climbing up. I was like, "Damn."
Like super realistic though, right?
Yeah,
But like you said,
100%.
the title is so good because she's just an engineer, right? I think
Mhm,
I'm jumping as I do, but like I think my favorite quote um from this episode was when the girl she was talking to when she was younger was like,
mhm.
of course you could. What else were you gonna do? Die? Because that's literally what she's showing. Like she's
Yep,
embodying the idea of like uh, I am
survival.
a one person army type of thing. But yeah, like a Swiss Army knife almost. Gillette is a Swiss Army knife.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I'm super curious though. I have so many questions.
But again, yeah, going to those engineering moments, I loved seeing her. A lot of other shows would have kind of, like, skipped to the end of her
Mm,
already built. We actually see her pulling and dragging and going through, there's even moments where she fails and she's
yeah.
frustrated. "Ah!"
Uh,
You know?
it's not a Rosie. This isn't,
No.
Batman per se.
No, no, it's not always perfect,
Mm-hmm.
right? And things don't always work out. She falls, she almost when she fell in the water, I was like,
Because she's afraid of water, right?
"Yeah."
It's like, no, her fear. No, no, no. Somebody help her.
And of course you'd be afraid of water in that
Yeah.
circumstance. You've never been around water, huh? You never know about swimming. You don't know anything about
Like
water except
swimming? Huh?
what is that?
And she almost fell into the water again, which was the tension in this show. I don't know. I feel like it's deeper than I think because it's not
Yes.
random. Like every scene has a sense of like, just don't sleep, Juliet.
Yeah,
Don't,
seriously.
don't,
Don't
don't,
don't
please,
slip. Come
please. I'm
on.
begging you. You can die somewhere else. Just not there. Just not there.
um yeah, let's go back to the beginning, the opening sequence. I think because again, we get informed on this silo and their history. There's certain
Hmm.
moments that happen. I feel like we linger on these characters long enough that I feel like there's more to the story.
Elaborate.
There's a scene where the sheriff is being like, one of the ladies is kind of helping him with his wounds, and he says, "My hand slipped. I didn't mean to."
But they didn't show us anything with the hand.
No,
I was
they
because I thought again. I won't lie. I was on my phone at first, so I was like, "Oh, what did I miss?" And I went back, and I was like,
exactly.
hmm.
Like, I feel like that means there's more. And again, because these silos seem to be similar, whatever is their story happens in their story is connected to the larger story, right?
Story for sure.
The surveillance and everything like that. So I feel like they found out. Obviously, they found out about everything, the feed being faked and things like
Yeah.
that, but they didn't know about the poison air. But it's like, are we gonna know more about those characters? Are they specific? Are they
Yeah.
significant? Is that little boy, how much time was it? Was that 100 years ago? Because
Hmm.
the main silo that we met, their revolution is 140 years ago.
For 140,
Was
yeah.
this was this around the
Before,
same time? Was
after,
it longer?
BC,
Uh,
before Christ, before COVID. Like, what are we talking?
is At first I thought the and we'll get into that. The stranger at the end was the little boy at the beginning, but we see the little boy walk out with them, I believe. But we don't know if people run back in. I don't know. Maybe people seem to try to run
Well,
back in.
and that and some people were, because I was trying to get the logistics right. Not everybody died, right? Because there were some people, or there was signs that there were some people left in the silo
Well,
even
that's the other.
after Detonator
That's
Massacre, right?
well, that's the question. Is that there's also signage on the wall, and there's even signage on the
Yeah,
wall saying,
lies.
and let's get into that. We will get in soon enough. And we have
It's
the
like,
stranger at the end that finds him. Is just like, if you try to get in, I will kill you. So here's my question: that stranger, do you think that stranger is actually a couple of questions? Do you think that stranger is a survivor of that silo, or do you think that stranger found that silo and locked himself in?
Mhm.
And do you think that stranger is alone?
No, not alone. The You're going to come crazy. The stranger is protecting Doomsday. Sorry, I just watched Krypton. And that's what it feels like. It feels like one of those, I can't let you have what's in here, right? It's like this, like I will die before you get into this chamber, because I guess it's either that for me, or he's just like super germaphobe. Like, no,
Mhm,
don't. I don't want your cooties. I know I can survive in here. But that
mhm.
almost, I think one thing I really like about this show is that it's not just a survival story, right? It's not, oh, humans were left behind and they're living. It's like there's clearly a lot of plotting and powers that be that are moving things around.
Power structure.
Yeah, but like even probably more than what we've seen for sure, right?
Yes, yes.
So I don't know. I don't know if I think he was from that silo. I could see him have come from another, but how? What? From where? Maybe he's from that silo, and he was like, "Bye, guys. Fine. I mean, you guys go die." Maybe he told them. Maybe he told them, "Oh, guys, don't go, don't go." Then you see your whole literal like clan or country of a silo. Yeah, I mean, I too would be like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna, just gonna park it in here, right?"
Yeah, no, I'm curious. I'm not sure if he was from that silo or he's someone that just found this place. Does he feel she's a threat
Like she
because
did, right? Kind of.
yeah, but does he feel that she's a threat because he feels everybody's a threat, or is he running away from someone specific?
It,
Right?
it, it didn't feel like it was singing out. It felt like it was like, "Oh, hey, hey, nice to meet you. Don't come here, I'll kill you."
I feel you. Does he naturally have two eye colors, or is that a result of some kind of radiation thingy? And does that mean that he's messed up in the
I'm
head
not
too
gonna
because of
embarrass
some?
myself. I noticed that his eye colors were weird. What?
You didn't notice when he's looking through the
Wha
slit, he has like
Yeah,
one blue and one green eye.
yeah, I'm blue, colorblind.
Yes,
Wow.
he has two color eyes. And
Yes.
again,
Oh
uh,
my
I,
gosh.
I
Wow.
I
Yeah.
I know the actor cast as him. I
Mhm.
won't mention him. I'll wait till people get surprised when they actually see the actor, because I had read casting news beforehand. Um, let's go back to some of the flashbacks. I think what
It
again the
is.
flashbacks do a great job of kind of informing us on who Juliet would become, right?
Yes.
We know
Yeah.
from first season her mom had died. Nope. Tell her as it is.
Killed herself.
Tell it as it is.
First of all, that I mean, because she didn't say her mom. It is whatever. Fair enough. Because she's like, my mom dead. I was like, what? Please, killed herself.
Let's be real. If a pump ain't working, we don't say it might not be operational at its projected capacity. We say it's broke. It's sad, it's
Like,
awful,
yeah.
but your mother killed herself.
I feel like that was shade for our current generation, because I feel like there's so much of that talk. Like, hey, is this working? Well, we got most of it functional. Like, no, no, no. And I like that
But
that's her
again,
foundation, right? As an engineer, like that's how she
exactly,
operates in her
exactly.
head.
Matter of fact, it's broken, it's not. There's no, again, we learned that last season, right? That
Uh-huh.
if it's not working, we had to fix it.
So, yeah,
There's no middle ground. It's just
exactly. Yeah.
it's when it comes to certain things like that, it is binary, right? When it comes to certain engineering, and that's how she thinks like
Uh-huh.
an engineer, you
Yeah.
know. But I like how Martha kind of plays the character because there's still a bit of of emotion to her. She tells a story
Yeah.
about being alone and lonely and protecting herself. And we know from last season, she's at the point where she's scared to leave
Uh-huh.
her little area because
The
again,
enclave. Uh-huh.
it's a world where we've isolated ourselves in this place, and anything outside of that seems scary, but you also
Yeah.
want it at the same time.
Yeah.
You know,
But you can't let yourself want it, or
no,
maybe you
no.
can.
Well, that's the question, right? That's the question. Also, we established a relationship. You mentioned this off podcast between her and Shirley. At
Yeah,
first, it's a bit
I see the flashback.
apprehensive. And she's like, "You want to stay with me?" No. I was like, "Oh, hey,
Uh,
oh,
Tea,
hey."
spicy kitty.
But I think that was done well because you still get a sense of Juliet didn't mean it to come out that way.
Yeah,
You know, she wasn't being catty or anything like that. It just came out that way because she's going through stuff, but she didn't mean
yeah.
to. And I like that we resolved that quicker. It wasn't this like prolonged thing where they hate each other for ages and it took a
Mm,
big situation for them to be friends. No.
no,
It
uh, she
was
what do you mean? She fixed. What did she even fix? She
the
fixed the
toy.
toy. The toy, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's like she's like, fine. How'd you do that?
Yeah.
Mm.
I like Shirley. She's like, "Psh, I don't play with
Yeah,
toys."
toys
And then
like
looking at after. But yeah, I like that semantic. I think again, Shirley's going to become a character that we spend more time with, and I think cementing her relationship with Juliet at this
before
point.
she dies before the end of the season. Calling it now.
You're calling it now. Any moments that you like that we haven't spoken about yet?
Just even in the flashback, I feel this shit is so much like Russell. I was just there thinking to like Russell. What's up, Russell? Like, do we think Russell's lying? People are just saying Russell's name here and there. I'm just like, well, what is this? Like,
And the sheriff even says, "Why wouldn't he open the door?"
yeah. And
Like, what does
I'm
that
me
mean?
too. I'm like, why would he open the door? Wait, what door? By the way, this is the side
What
door.
the who are we talking about? What? No, I was confused too. I was like, "Wait, did they skip a scene? What's going on?"
I,
I don't
I
know.
I think, or maybe I assume, or maybe they might not. That we're gonna get like flashbacks sliced into every maybe not
Mhm,
every, but like across this whole season, there'll be flashbacks interwoven into the story,
mhm,
in like a reverse manner, maybe, um, because that whole yeah, my hand slipped, Russell lying. It's just like
mhm,
people trying to set up those breadcrumbs, so we'll be like, but yeah, I'm super curious. Not even gonna lie,
mhm.
I'm like, I want to know it all.
Um, do you think that stranger? Do you think he's the one that cut the rope, or did the rope just cut by itself?
Not
Because
really
she,
not cut by itself.
she looks at it.
Not really didn't cut by itself. That was, that was it was well. I pose the question to you, or is it an external person completely? Maybe that's why the stranger is locked inside because there's
Oh,
this dude who goes around cutting ropes.
there's someone else, and stick and turning on fans. I like that fake out with the fan.
The oldest fan in the world, right? That it was, yeah. Like I almost could see because I don't feel like that guy who the stranger. I don't feel like he was. I don't know. I don't feel like he was prowling around.
Mhm.
Maybe he was, but it didn't feel like he was. It felt like he was cozy. He came up to the door and he's like, right. So I don't know. I'm willing to just as a gambling man, not
but,
really,
but I
but maybe a third person.
but I like that how like he turns on the music to get her attention, to call
Mm.
her, and then like, "Don't come here." I'm
It's
calling you.
like don't feel
Don't come.
crazy. Yes, I am here, but you do not come. Right.
um, what do you have hopes for the season? I think obviously we're going to be going back to the original silo and seeing what's going
Mhm.
on there and what's happening.
Yeah, the rebellion. Did
Yeah.
we discuss that?
Yeah.
Because Bernard lied. He's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, Julia died." They're like,
Yep.
"No,
Mm.
no, she didn't."
But then also the question is again, what is in it for him? Because in some places he's technically not lying because he said it's not safe to go up, and it's not safe to go up.
You right.
You know, and so they or like how does it work with the when they go up and they start seeing the holographic visual of a nice beautiful garden? How does that work? You know,
Yeah,
how does that work on the suits? Are there something projecting into the suit? I don't know. Speaking of the suit, I love that moment where clearly, one, we know from last season that the suits are not sealed properly, that's why she had to
yeah,
get the special tape, but
yeah.
clearly they're not even giving that much oxygen. She was suffocating like not
Bruh,
that long.
she was literally choking. And I guess literally they expect anyone to need. They weren't doing like scientific research into extending the oxygen supply. It was like just enough for him to get out. It's like,
And clean the cameras.
oh no, such a good episode from her. Like she had to break open her the screen, right, of the suit.
Oh,
Like she went through so many. When she was pouring the liquid on her, I was like, what did she do?
yeah, yeah.
What did she do?
I
But
love when she's smashing just like and
it's
every time she did that, I was like, what if she hits too hard and she goes and she smacks her own self in the face? Like just smash.
but it's like that's why she's the engineer, you know. It's like
That's true.
she probably would, most probably.
She knows how much exact force to use. Yeah. But yeah, it's the question is how big does this go,
Hmm.
right? How, is this a grand experiment by aliens? You know,
Oh,
we don't even know how the world got into this situation. Okay, what we know for a fact is that the air is toxic. We've
yes.
seen
All
that,
right.
right?
Fine.
That's
Why?
confirmed,
How? Who?
right?
And
It
tell me
is
why it's America.
was the end of the world caused by the toxic air, or did that come afterwards? You know, was it a nuclear bomb? Was it?
Mhm.
We don't know. Is we assuming this is Earth?
First of all, you're so right. That's actually a big assumption on my part because at no point have Rick confirmed to me that this is planet Earth or even
Right,
this Milky Way.
right. This could be some grand experiment and things like that. But obviously, answers out there. This is based on a book series,
Mhm.
which I'm going to read after the season. I think this first and second season is just the first book, all right?
First
And
and
that's
second
kind of
season is the first book. Oh wow, and there
yeah,
were
yeah,
four
yeah,
books,
yeah. No, three
three
books.
books. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think seasons 3 and 4 will go one book each, whereas 1 and 2 was one book split
to
into two.
first to third.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fair. I'm curious too. I think you asked about expectations for the season. I want the slow burn to ramp up, right? Like
Mhm.
it's not. I don't want it to start to feel tepid or start to go backwards. I don't even know what that means per se, but I just need them to. I'm expecting Juliet. What am I calling it, Juliet? Juliet's discoveries, the rebellion back home. All going to intercede and
Mhm.
intercept into something bigger. But my biggest thing, like you've said, is just that I don't even know. Okay, wow, these are two out of what 200, 400, 500. I'm like,
Exactly, exactly.
okay, were they the only ones that are still alive? I'm not saying that's possible, but are they? Do we know? Are
Are
they the
they?
last surviving silo?
We don't know.
So I guess since I know there are gonna be two more seasons, I can't get all the answers, but I definitely want to feel like we've progressed past the questions of last season, if that makes sense. Like I want there to
Mhm,
be new
mhm,
questions, like okay, who's pulling the strings? Like you said, what happened? What caused this? But like, okay, fine, we know the screen is fake. The people know it's fake. What's coming next, right? Because I'm assuming that rebellion is gonna hold, and they're
mhm,
gonna try and find their way out. So does Juliet have to find a way for them to survive? I mean,
mhm.
that's what the Jedi would do. I would say,
This is true.
actually,
Maybe she's gonna refashion this silo she's in to be like a silo for the rebellion. They get their own.
habitable, and that would be dope. And
Right,
then they're just
right,
next door.
right. What
Uh,
do you
well,
nerdies think of this return to this show? Are you excited to see what comes next? What are your theories where this is going? Is this just happening? Is this happening all over the world, or is this one location? Because a place on Earth can be radiated while other places are fine, right? It doesn't necessarily mean the whole entire world,
yeah,
and so you never know. Find
never
us on
know.
social media at The Nerdy Bunch, and you can find us on email, the nerdy bunch podcast at gmail.com. We'd like to hear your thoughts. Give us a thumbs up, rating, star, whatever it is you need to do on your podcast platform to give us recognition. We really
Yes, please.
appreciate it.
Thank
Check out our
you.
other podcasts. We just put up Agatha All
I
Along
get
season
the
finale. Also, Arcane Act 1. We should be recording Act 2 soon. That is any day now. And of course, Dune Prophecy and Penguin. So much. So much. Thank you, Andrew.
thank you, David.
My name's English Dave, and this has been a Nerdy Bunch review for Silo Episode 1, Season 2. And as always, Andrew,
Keep it nerdy.
peace.